Every new day is a race against fate. No one knows where the finish lies. 1 second too slow, and destiny is changed. Here, survival is the only victory. In the tall grass under the East African sun, something small is stirring barely 3 pounds. Eyes still sealed shut, utterly helpless. Lion cubs are born blind. In the first week of life, they see nothing but darkness entirely dependent on the warmth and scent of their mother. A lioness separates from her pride weeks before giving birth, seeking a hidden thicket to deliver her young far from every threat, including the males within her own pride. Because the greatest danger to a lion cub is not a hyena, not a snake, not an eagle. It is a new male who has just seized the pride. When a new coalition of males overthrows the old king, the first thing they do is kill every cub. Not cruelty, but the coldest calculation evolution has ever produced. The cubs carry the old male's genes. A mother who loses her young will be ready to mate again within weeks. This is the mathematics of life and of death. "60% of lion cubs do not survive to the age of 2. New males, hyenas, starvation, disease, all waiting in line. To be born a lion is already a gamble. The ground trembles. Heavy footsteps echo from the edge of the territory, the silhouette of a new male coalition. A mother presses her cubs flat against the earth, draping her body over them. Not breathing, not moving. But a lioness does not fight alone. Several females in a pride give birth around the same time, and this is no coincidence. When multiple mothers raise their young together, the cubs are guarded around the clock, and survival rates climb sharply. A communal nursery takes shape, lionesses nursing each other's cubs, taking turns standing guard, sharing the burden of parenthood, altruism or selfish genes. The answer is both. "3 weeks old, the eyes open for the first time. The world floods in with light. First steps wobble across the grass, then a tumble, then up again, then another fall. "6 weeks, the cubs begin exploring everything in sight. Blades of grass, passing butterflies, and above all, their mother's tail, the first and favorite toy. A vulture's shadow drifts overhead. The mother springs to her feet. A circling vulture means a predator is nearby. She growls low, herds the cubs behind her, turns her back outward, bracing for whatever is coming. But for lion cubs, play is never just entertainment. Every game is a neural pathway being wired inside the brain. The young ones wrestle 4 to 5 hours each day. Every pounce, every mock bite, every clumsy chase programs hunting skills into their developing minds, forging new connections with every stumble. Stalking a butterfly failure, leaping onto their mother's back, shaken off instantly, chasing the shadow of a sparrow running the wrong direction entirely. One 100% of first hunts end in failure. But they must fail because only failure teaches success. The weakest cub in the litter cannot keep up. It lies behind in the scorching sun, exhausted. The mother turns back, grips its scruff, drags it home. This time, but a mother cannot always turn back in time. Six to 7 months, the weaning crisis begins. The shift from milk to meat, and the cubs have no idea what to do with the flesh placed before them. A lioness brings food back, tears it into smaller pieces, lets her young watch every motion. This is not instinct, it is education. Every meal is a lesson. But not every cub has a mother by its side. To be orphaned in the wild is usually a death sentence, but among lions, something remarkable sometimes happens. Researchers have documented cases where a lioness adopts orphaned cubs, even those that carry none of her genes, nursing them, protecting them, teaching them as if they were her own. Hyenas, 3 of them. In broad daylight, they advance straight toward the playing cubs. The mother charges, her jaws snap shut inches from the lead hyena's face. They retreat, but they do not leave. "18 months old, a young lion follows its mother into the open grassland for the first time, watching from a distance, learning to read the wind, learning to judge distance, learning the hardest lesson of all, patience. Two to 3 years old, the final trial arrives for the young males. They are driven from the pride. No territory, no protection. 60% will not survive the nomad years. A young male looks back at the pride one last time. His mother lies their eyes on him, but she does not stand. The boundary has been drawn. He walks into the endless grass, alone. The survivors will find each other forming coalitions of brothers, wandering together, fighting together, conquering a new pride together. Brotherhood is a weapon sharper than any fang. And somewhere on the sunlit plain, a lioness lies on her side, eyes half closed, her tail still flicking because 4 small lives cling to her flank, knowing nothing of the world that waits ahead. The instinct to protect the next generation, the highest price and the greatest reward nature ever gives, does not belong to lions alone. Because on this planet, Every wild place has mothers willing to sacrifice everything, and every new generation must prove itself worthy of the gift of being born. "6,000 miles from this savannah, on a continent where fire is not the enemy but the ancient heartbeat of renewal, every living creature faces the same question. Where crimson soil cracks under the sun, where grasslands burn to ash and rise again each season, and where dry streams still nourish life beneath the earth, a wilderness most of the world has never heard of is fighting to survive." How does the next generation survive when the earth burns, the water runs dry, and more than half of home has already vanished? Under the scorching sun of the largest tropical savanna on Earth, the answer lies hidden in the magical land that we will explore shortly. And the fight for the next generation here is fiercer than any African grassland has ever known. In the pale moonlight filtering through the gallery forest, a dark shape glides across a shallow stream without a sound. Its eyes catch the light, the eyes of a creature the ancient Maya once called the messenger between the mortal world and the divine. That is, a jaguar. And the land it crosses is not the Amazon, nor the Pantanal. This is the Cerrado, the largest tropical savanna on Earth, where fire is not the enemy, but the ancient breath of life itself. More than half its original expanse has already vanished. Only 8% lies under strict protection, and most of the world has never heard its name. But when the fires die and the water runs dry, what keeps it all from falling apart? Welcome to WildVerse, where we explore the grandest mysteries of the natural world. The answer lives in the footsteps of 10 extraordinary species, creatures that have evolved over millions of years to endure fire and drought, flood and darkness. The Cerrado stretches across nearly 800,000 square miles, covering more than 21% of Brazil's landmass. It threads through the states of Goiás, Mato Grosso, Tocantins, Minas Gerais and Maranhão, then quietly extends into Bolivia and Paraguay. It does not touch the sea. It borders no ocean. Yet the Cerrado is the cradle of South America's water. From the Planalto Central, an ancient bedrock plateau formed over 600 million years ago during the Precambrian era, 3 of the continent's greatest river basins are born. The Amazon, the San Francisco, and the Paraná. Beneath its rolling hills, groundwater quietly sustains the flow that millions of people depend on without ever knowing it. The Guarani and Urucuia aquifers, 2 of the largest underground water systems in South America, run silently beneath this savanna, supplying drinking water to over 40 million Brazilians. When forests are cleared, the land's ability to channel rainwater into these underground reserves drops sharply, threatening not only the ecosystem, but also the clean water supply for agriculture and cities alike. The soil here runs deep red, rich in aluminum, poor in nutrients, and so acidic that few ordinary trees can take root. But the Cerrado has no need for ordinary trees. In the lowlands, grasslands stretch to the horizon, broken only by low shrubs. Elsewhere, the savanna merges with open woodland trees, with rounded canopies, thick bark, and roots that plunge deep into the earth. These traits are no accident. They are the result of millions of years of evolution, shaped to withstand drought and the fires that return each season. Since time immemorial, this land has been home to indigenous communities, the Craho, the Zavante, the Bororo cultures whose ceremonies and beliefs are inseparable from the very ground beneath their feet. And across the dry grasslands, the tall, slender silhouette of the maned wolf, the largest wild canid in South America, still moves quietly through the landscape like a living legend of the Cerrado. Yet, while the maned wolf embodies the slender grace of a nomad, elsewhere on these grasslands, a far stranger silhouette emerges, a creature seemingly assembled from fragments of a bygone era. This is the giant anteater, among the most ancient surviving icons of this landscape. Stretching up to 6 feet 7 inches from snout to tail, this creature appears to have wandered straight from a surrealist's canvas. Its coarse pelage, bearing a striking black diagonal stripe, allows it to dissolve seamlessly into the dappled shadows of the thorny scrub. Yet its true mastery relies not upon sight, but rather an olfactory sense 40 times sharper than our own. It is questing for earthen fortresses, the concrete hard termite mounds scattered across the savanna. Upon locating its quarry, the animal deploys foreclaws up to 4 inches long, honed like razors, to breach the formidable defenses, a feat demanding immense muscular power. As the fortress walls crumble, the ultimate weapon is revealed, a tongue extending over 24 inches, coated in highly adhesive saliva. Darting in and out at a staggering 150 times a minute, this remarkable appendage harvests thousands of termites in mere moments. It never completely destroys a colony. Acting as a prudent harvester, it always leaves enough survivors for the mound to rebuild. Amidst the sweltering 95-degree Fahrenheit heat of the Cerrado, that immense bushy tail serves as far more than mere adornment. While resting, it curls up and drapes the appendage over itself like a thermal blanket, stabilizing its temperature and providing camouflage against potential adversaries. The giant anteater is a living testament to evolutionary endurance, a creature devoid of teeth or fleetness, yet commanding one of the savannah's most abundant resources through absolute finesse and silent strength. The climate here splits the world into two opposing halves. The wet season stretches from October to April, delivering an average of 1,200 to 2,000 millimeters of rainfall per year. Then the dry season arrives from May to September, with almost no rain at all. Daytime temperatures regularly exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity drops below 30%. Yet it is precisely within this harshness that the Cerrado harbors a biological treasure few suspect. More than 10,000 plant species, nearly half, found nowhere else on Earth. "935 species of birds, 200 species of mammals, over 270 species of reptiles and amphibians, and tens of thousands of insects. "10,000 plant species, 935 species of birds, and a dry season that lasts 5 months without a single drop of rain. Every link in this chain, no matter how small, is irreplaceable within this vast web of ecological balance. And when May arrives, the water retreats like a broken promise. Imas National Park, over 500 square miles of open grassland in the heart of Brazil, becomes one of the dry season's most unforgiving stages. Thin, acidic, nutrient-poor soil. Wildfires erupt, but not to destroy. Here, fire triggers the regeneration of vegetation, maintaining the equilibrium that this ecosystem has evolved to depend upon. And across that scorched grassland, a tawny shape moves without a sound. The cougar, also known as the puma, the mountain lion, the catamount, the panther, over 40 different names, all referring to a single species. It is the land mammal with the widest range in the Americas, from the frozen Yukon of Canada to the arid Andes of southern Peru. And right here, in the heart of the continent, where the Cerrado sprawls and gallery forests cling to riverbanks, the cougar has carved out its own domain. Its hind legs, the most powerful of any wild cat coil like compressed springs. In an instant, the cougar launches nearly 18 feet into the air, covering more than 30 feet in a single bound, like a living arrow. The impact lasts only seconds. Fangs lock onto the neck, claws grip tight. The prey is pinned before it can react. But the cougar does not eat in haste. It drags the carcass to the forest edge, carefully concealing it beneath dry leaves and decaying branches, a cache for the unpredictable days of drought ahead. A single large kill can sustain it for 4 to 6 days. Unlike the tiger or the lion, with their resonant roars, the cougar communicates through an astonishing range of sounds, hisses, howls, and sometimes a scream that tears through the night. Females carry their young for approximately 90 days before giving birth to 1 to 6 cubs. Dark spots running along the backs of the young help them blend into the damp leaf litter. They stay with their mother for 2 years, learning each step of the stalk, reading the wind and avoiding other predators, including the jaguar. In the food chain, the cougar plays the role of balance keeper. By controlling herbivore populations, it helps forests regenerate and prevents overgrazing. In areas where cougars maintain a regular presence, the understory and mid-level vegetation grow noticeably healthier than in areas where they are absent. And as the rains continue to fall across the Cerrado, the faint tracks of the cougar printed in the wet soil remain a reminder that this land has never lacked a hunter. But the cougar is not the only creature that has made Imas its home. Heavier footsteps echo across the cracked red earth, the footsteps of the largest native bird in the Americas. The greater rhea stands nearly 5.5 feet tall and weighs up to 90 pounds among the largest birds in the world. It cannot fly, but its long, muscular legs allow it to reach speeds of 40 miles per hour fast enough to outrun most predators. Three toes, not four like the majority of birds, an evolutionary trait that enables rapid movement across dry, uneven terrain. Its wings are not built for flight, but function as rudders, enabling sharp directional changes mid-sprint, a seamless combination of speed and strategy. But the most remarkable thing about the greater rhea is not its legs. Unlike most birds, it is the male that takes on the role of nest builder. After constructing a nest on the ground, the male courts up to 12 females to lay their eggs. A single nest can hold as many as 50. When the females leave, the male stays, incubating the eggs alone for 35 to 40 days, raising the chicks alone for 6 full months. He does not merely protect them from predators, he sometimes even adopts stray chicks from other broods. The greatest single father in the avian world. Across the scorched grasslands, His footsteps sound like a drumbeat of resilience. Not just a swift runner, the greater rhea is also a capable swimmer. It uses its neck and wings to navigate the shallow streams scattered across the savannah, a skill that grants access to the scarce water sources remaining in the dry season. Outside the breeding season, greater rheas live in flocks of 10 to 100, depending on conditions. A flexible diet is their key survival advantage. As omnivores, they consume a wide range of foods: broad leaves, grasses, seeds, fruits, and even insects, lizards, frogs, and small birds. They swallow small stones to grind fibrous food in their gizzards, much like chickens or African ostriches. When green grass grows scarce during the dry season, they gradually shift toward protein-rich sources insects and whatever wild fruit remains. At Imas, the greater rhea plays an essential role in the biological fabric of the Cerrado, both as a seed disperser and as a stabilizer between species, moving quietly between the dry and wet seasons. But not every predator in the Cerrado relies on speed. As night falls and rodents begin to emerge from their burrows, a motionless form lies amid the leaf litter, like a rotting log. The boa constrictor, one of the most ancient serpent lineages on the planet, with ancestors dating back to the Cretaceous period, contemporaries of the dinosaurs. Adults typically measure 6 to 10 feet in length, their gleaming scales patterned in brown, deep red, and silver grey, a natural map of camouflage. Vertical pupils, like a cat's, a hallmark of nocturnal hunters paired with small heat-sensing pits between the labial scales, allowing it to see the body heat of prey in total darkness. The boa's strategy is not pursuit, but ambush. When prey ventures close enough, usually rodents, small marsupials or lizards, it strikes with startling speed. Hundreds of curved, inward-pointing teeth pin the prey in place, then coils of muscle tighten around it. The victim does not die from broken bones, but from suffocation as blood circulation is cut off. After swallowing its prey whole, sometimes twice the width of its own head, the boa retreats to a rocky crevice or leaf nest to digest. Its slow metabolism allows it to survive for weeks, even months, without another meal. A strategic hunter taking only what it needs to survive, never wasting a thing. And within the Cerrado ecosystem, its presence helps control rodent populations indirectly, protecting crops from pest outbreaks. But another creature moves quietly along the dry streambed, larger, heavier, and more important than most realize. The South American tapir, the largest terrestrial animal on the continent, weighing between 330 and over 700 pounds. Its flexible proboscis, formed from the upper lip and nose, allows it to pluck fruit, probe dense undergrowth for tender leaves, and even function as a snorkel when submerged. In the searing heat of the dry season, when temperatures exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit, the ability to dive for minutes at a time and move along streambeds helps it escape predators and regulate its body temperature. This nocturnal mammal follows stream banks in search of fresh leaves, soft shoots, and aquatic vegetation, precious food sources when terrestrial plants have withered. Known as the gardener of the rainforest, the tapir helps regenerate vegetation by dispersing seeds through its droppings, particularly across the Vereda's wetlands. Its eyesight is poor, but its senses of smell and hearing are extraordinarily keen. It communicates through whistles, heavy breaths, and a distinctive clicking sound, a secret language whispered through the forest. Calves are born after 13 months of gestation, covered in dark fur, marked with white stripes and spots resembling a small watermelon, perfect camouflage beneath the forest canopy. They remain with their mother for 12 to 18 months, learning to swim, dive, and survive. But this also means populations regenerate slowly and are acutely vulnerable to rapid environmental change. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists the South American tapir as vulnerable, threatened by deforestation, agricultural expansion, and hunting. In the Cerrado, the conversion of forest to soybean plantations and cattle pasture over the past 2 decades has caused a severe decline in Vereda's habitat. But at Grande Cerrado Veredas National Park, the tapir still has a chance. Networks of underground springs, wetlands, and year-round green buriti palm vegetation create a cool, moist refuge through the dry season, an ideal environment for the species' long-term survival. The dry season does not last forever, and when the first rain touches the cracked earth, the Cerrado awakens in ways no one can predict. Between mid-September and early October, the smell of wet soil fills the air, a signal for the return of water and the start of the breeding season. This shift triggers an ecological chain reaction across the entire ecosystem, from the germination of dormant seeds to the explosion of insect populations. And in the highest canopy, a creature of dazzling appearance begins its own journey of survival. The Toco toucan, the largest toucan in South America, carries one of the most extraordinary biological designs in the natural world. Its bill, measuring up to 7.5 inches, may look cumbersome, but is in fact surprisingly light, constructed from spongy keratin tissue inside a hollow bone framework. And that bill plays a critical role in thermoregulation. When temperatures rise during the seasonal transition, blood flow to the bill increases to radiate heat. When night falls, blood retreats to conserve warmth. This is one of the most efficient cooling systems ever recorded in any bird comparable to the heat-dissipating capacity of an African elephant's ears. The wet season also signals breeding time. Ripe fruits abound, triggering an insect boom essential nutrition for toucans during nesting. The Toko toucan does not excavate its own nest. It occupies old tree cavities, particularly abandoned woodpecker holes. 2 to 4 white eggs are incubated by both parents in alternating shifts for approximately 2 weeks. When they hatch, the chicks are featherless, their bills still tiny, but day by day, they grow under devoted parental care, gradually developing their dense plumage and vivid orange bills. And beyond its role as a skillful frugivore, the Toko toucan is a vital link in the Cerrado's post-dry season recovery. By eating and dispersing seeds, it helps new trees take root in fresh ground, increasing tropical forest carbon storage capacity by up to 38%. Deeper within the gallery forest, where the Serra de Canastra ascends and the Cascadanta falls, plunge some 610 feet to birth the São Francisco River. The seasonal rains transform the woodland into a living labyrinth. And within that labyrinth, a small feline shadow moves silently among rain-soaked branches. The margay, also called the tree ocelot, measures between 28 and 32 inches in length and weighs only 3 to 4 pounds. But it is the acrobat of the forest world. Its tail accounts for up to 70% of its body length, creating perfect balance when navigating slippery branches after rain. And here is what makes the margay truly extraordinary. Its hind ankles can rotate a full 180 degrees, allowing it to descend trees head first, more like a squirrel than a cat. It can leap 12 feet between branches and even hang upside down from a single hind foot. Its large, round eyes, which locals call button eyes, allow it to hunt with astonishing precision in complete darkness. The margay lives alone, hunts primarily at night, and marks its territory with scent. But the most remarkable hunting strategy ever documented in Brazil revealed that the margay mimics the distress calls of infant-pied tamarin monkeys, luring anxious adults close enough to be ambushed from above. With a reproductive rate of just 1 offspring every 2 years, the margay is acutely vulnerable to sudden environmental change. Serra da Canastra, where intact gallery forests still remain, is becoming the final refuge for this species' survival. Along the Araguaia River, the natural boundary between Goiás and Tocantins, the wet season, creates an entirely different world. Over 800 oxbow lakes interconnect with one another, and the vast flooded forest system at Cantown State Park forms the last stronghold for one of the rarest species on the planet. The giant otter, the largest otter on Earth. Adult males can reach 6 feet in length and weigh 75 pounds, with a torpedo-shaped body covered in short, dense, waterproof, chocolate brown fur. A flat, elongated tail acts as a paddle. Webbed feet allow agile movement through murky water. And one detail often overlooked, each individual bears a unique white throat patch, a biological signature that allows researchers to identify them in the wild. The wet season triggers a fish explosion, catfish, carrikins filling the giant otter's natural menu. With ultra-sensitive whiskers, it detects the slightest movement in turbid water. Ears and nostrils seal shut when diving, allowing total focus on the hunt. Unlike most other otter species, the giant otter is highly social. It lives in organized family groups, typically a lifelong breeding pair, along with offspring from multiple litters. A group can range from 2 to 20 individuals. They hunt together, play together, and share the responsibility of raising the next generation. When some individuals leave to forage, others stay behind to guard the breeding site or train young pups in diving and catching prey. This coordinated hunting strategy increases the group's overall success rate. Each adult requires approximately 7 pounds of fish per day, nearly 10% of its body weight. Fish are not the only item on the menu. When fish are scarce, giant otters also hunt crabs, snakes, and even young caimans. Remarkable adaptability for an apex aquatic predator. With dexterous front paws, they grip their catch and eat it floating on their backs at the water's surface, an image both comical and deeply rooted in survival instinct. They choose to dig dens along high riverbanks or swampy forest edges. Each den can have multiple entrances, allowing the entire group to move quickly and safely when threatened. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists the giant otter as endangered, with fewer than 5,000 individuals estimated to remain in the wild. No clear upward or downward trend has been recorded. But at the Araguaia, the stable presence of large family groups and increasing numbers of young offer a glimmer of hope that with adequate protection, this species still has a chance to recover. From the tight-knit families of the giant otter, the story of the Cerrado turns to the creatures of the water's edge, where two opposing forces share a single ecosystem. The capybara, the largest rodent in the world, measuring 3 to 4.5 feet long and weighing 70 to 145 pounds, more than twice the size of a beaver, coarse, tawny brown fur and a stocky build conceal a body perfectly adapted for a semi-aquatic lifestyle. Short legs with webbed feet, eyes, ears and nostrils set high on the head, allowing it to remain submerged while still observing and breathing. A capybara can dive for up to 5 minutes to evade predators or cool down when temperatures exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit. On land, it reaches speeds of over 20 miles per hour when escaping danger. Each day, an adult consumes nearly 8 pounds of vegetation. A curious footnote: in the 16th century, the Catholic Church classified the capybara as fish, permitting the faithful to eat its meat during Lent. The capybara's digestive system features an enlarged cecum teeming with millions of microorganisms that ferment cellulose. They re-chew food while resting and practice coprophagy, consuming a soft type of feces after the first round of digestion to maximize nutrient absorption. During the dry season, small groups of 10 to 20 often merge into herds of hundreds, led by a dominant male. Social hierarchy is maintained through scent glands on the nose and near the anus, along with a rich vocal repertoire including whistles, chirps, growls, and even barks. They frequently groom each other and remove parasites not merely for hygiene, but as a form of social bonding within the group. If you're captivated by the world of the Cerrado, share with WildVerse in the comments. Between the capybara and the yak-haired caiman, which species impresses you more? And just beneath the surface where the capybara swims, another shape lies motionless. The yak-haired caiman, native to Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, and Paraguay, is the silent hunter of the seasonal lake systems. Adult males measure 6 to 10 feet in length, their skin ranging from dark brown to olive, with pale yellow bellies reminiscent of lakeside mud. "74 teeth are continuously replaced, with the 4th tooth of the lower jaw protruding even when the mouth is closed, the feature that earned it the name piranha caiman. It does not charge or chase, but lies motionless beneath floating vegetation, only its eyes and nostrils breaking the surface. When unsuspecting prey ventures too close, the snap is too fast to escape. But the yak-haired caiman also has a gentler side reproduction. During the wet season, when the soil is damp and temperatures rise, females construct nests atop mounds of mud and decaying vegetation, warm and lightly steaming, like natural incubators. "22 to 35 eggs are placed inside, and the temperature within the nest determines the sex of the hatchlings. Warmer conditions produce males, while cooler ones result in females. Even before they hatch, soft calls ring out from inside the eggshells, gentle summons to their mother. The presence of the Yacaré caiman helps control piranha populations, preventing outbreaks that could shatter the fragile balance of the seasonally flooded wetlands. And now the apex of the food chain, the soul of the Cerrado, the jaguar, returns. Its coat is marked with large rosettes, bearing dark central spots, each pattern unique, no two individuals alike. Yet, the Cerrado harbors a remarkable anomaly, an exceptionally high concentration of black jaguars, comprising over 15% of the local population, a striking contrast to the global average of 10%. These shadowed felines stand as a living testament to the enduring vigor of melanism beneath the scorching south. American sun. Even in their solid black form, the rosette pattern persists, visible under angled light or through infrared photography. The jaguar is a solitary creature. Individuals rarely encounter one another outside of mating season. A male's territory spans route historically twice that of a female's, often overlapping with several females, but almost never with another male.
No one will hear it coming.
During the dry season, this spatial arrangement minimizes conflict and optimizes access to dwindling resources. They are most active at dawn and dusk, when light is low, temperatures mild, and prey begins to stir. Unlike most big cats, the jaguar possesses the strongest bite force of any feline powerful enough to pierce a turtle's shell or crush a caiman's skull. It does not strike at the throat, but aims directly for the head, a precise and instantaneous killing blow. The jaguar commands an extraordinary vocal repertoire, ranging from rasping roars to gentle chuffing. This soft, rhythmic articulation serves as soothing reassurance, an intimate dialogue shared closely between a mother and her cubs. At Grande Sertão Veredas National Park, where underground springs, wetlands, and year-round green buriti palm groves converge 26 to 31. Individual jaguars were recorded between 2023 and 2024. Historically, the jaguar's range extended from the southwestern United States to Argentina, but it has now vanished from El Salvador, Uruguay, and many other regions. In indigenous cultures from the Aztec to the Maya, the jaguar has always symbolized power, divinity, and immortality. In the Cerrado, the image of a jaguar crossing water under dry season moonlight has become a living emblem of equilibrium, a reminder that even in the harshest landscapes, a deeper order endures. But this vibrant world is under threat every day. And this time, the enemy has no claws. More than half the Cerrado's original vegetation has disappeared, replaced by vast plantations of soybeans, corn, and industrial-scale cattle pasture. Only about 8% of the Cerrado falls within strictly protected areas, compared to over 45% of the Amazon. Climate change is making dry seasons harsher and natural wildfires more frequent and prolonged than ever. In 2024, deforestation in the Cerrado decreased by over 25%, thanks to improved monitoring. But it is still not enough. With nearly 60% of native vegetation on private land, collaboration between government, communities, and the private sector is no longer optional. It is a matter of survival. The Cerrado Restoration Fund aims to raise $150 million, a vital pledge to safeguard over 106,000 acres of native flora. Ecological corridors are gradually being reconnected along the western fringe, allowing species to move between fragmented forest patches. GPS tracking projects are monitoring jaguar behavior with increasing precision, providing a solid scientific foundation for conservation decisions. At Chapada dos Veadeiros and Emas, two national parks, recognized by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites captive breeding programs, combined with community education, are showing positive results. A magnificent river carves a path over 4,000 miles through Africa's core, granting vitality to lands that would otherwise remain desolate. The Nile is something far greater than a mere river. It represents the very pulse of a continent, linking the majestic civilizations of an ancient past with the wild rhythms of life today. On the surface, its tranquil waters can seem like a perfect mirror of the heavens. Yet, a very different narrative unfolds just beneath this calm facade. It is a grand stage, where nature's most powerful forces vie for resources, for water, and for their very existence. A predator as primordial as the river itself is concealed within the Nile's murky depths. Appearing as motionless as a piece of driftwood, its presence is betrayed only by vigilant eyes and subtle nostrils rippling the water's surface. Behold the Nile crocodile. It is a reptilian titan, measuring 20 feet, weighing half a ton, a dynasty as ancient as the water itself. As Africa's most formidable predator, it reigns as king in this domain. Its primary tactic is one of immense patience. For hours, sometimes even days, the crocodile can wait, its natural camouflage allowing it to dissolve into the muddy shoreline. A young buffalo, in need of water, wanders closer. The herd, unaware of the danger concealed below, congregates at the river's edge, entirely unsuspecting. Then, in a single moment, the water explodes. With terrifying power, the crocodile strikes. Its colossal jaws snap shut, exerting a pressure of 5,000 pounds per square inch. The victim is pulled into the depths, where the hunter begins its notorious death roll. These colossal reptiles gather in significant numbers in Lake Victoria, a main source for the Nile, where a thriving population calls its waters home. The dense vegetation and shallow waters create an ideal environment for an ambush. The Nile crocodile, however, is far more than just a hunter. It functions as a custodian for the entire ecosystem. They cleanse the water by consuming carcasses, which stops the proliferation of disease and bacteria. While they might appear ungainly on solid ground, they are masters of agility in the water, achieving quick bursts of speed up to 22 miles per hour. The cycle of life begins anew, as the female excavates a deep nest in a high sandbank, where she will deposit between 25 and 80 eggs. She becomes a relentless protector for the following months, driving away all potential dangers, with swift, powerful strikes. Upon hatching, the mother carefully gathers the young in her immense mouth and transports them to the water, giving them a chance to survive in a world filled with constant threat. Even in the scorched, arid landscape of Sudan, the crocodile remains a keeper of balance, its influence quietly felt along the shores of the great river. As we continue downstream, a grand shadow glides across the sod wetlands. It is the shoebill, a testament to how each segment of the Nile supports its own distinct residents. A massive form slowly materializes as the sun ascends over the Nile's placid waters. The morning stillness is broken by a powerful exhalation. This is the hippopotamus. The true daytime sovereign of the Nile is the hippopotamus, with large bulls growing to 13 feet and weighing up to 5,000 pounds. Beneath its calm demeanor lies incredible strength and a highly volatile nature. When protecting their aquatic territories, they are fiercely combative. They congregate in pods of 10 to 30 individuals, overseen by a single dominant male, and pass the majority of their day submerged. From its dense hide, a peculiar crimson liquid emerges, a substance commonly known as blood sweat. This is not an injury, but a wonder of nature. It acts as both a sunblock and an antiseptic, ideally evolved for a life spent partially under the African sun. As dusk settles, the hippos emerge from the security of the river to feed on the land. They might roam up to 6 miles from the water, consuming nearly 80 pounds of grass over the course of a night. Despite being herbivores, their combative disposition ranks them among Africa's most dangerous creatures. They are capable of running on land at speeds reaching 19 miles per hour. In Ethiopia's Lake Tana region, the calm, shallow waters have become a perfect sanctuary for a population of roughly 400. Following a gestation period of approximately 8 months, the female will usually deliver one calf while in the water. The infant, born weighing between 55 and 110 pounds, is a natural swimmer from its first moments. The hippopotamus also fulfills a critical function within its environment. Its dung, rich in nutrients, acts as a fertilizer for the water, nourishing the microorganisms that form the foundation of the aquatic food web. The pod makes its slow journey back to the shallows as a new day begins. Once more, the Nile's apparently placid surface hides the dormant power of these behemoths. The resounding thud of hooves can be heard across the Nile's verdant floodplains. It signals the ceaseless pilgrimage of the African buffalo herd. These immense grazers are emblems of endurance and fortitude, gathering in herds that can reach into the hundreds, perpetually seeking new pastures and water. The African buffalo is a true titan of the savannah, reaching 5 feet at the shoulder and weighing between 1,100 and 2,200 pounds. At their base, their menacing horns merge to form a single bony plate, used both for protection and in battles for status. A clear strategy for staying alive exists within this moving fortress of horn and hide. The most powerful members create a protective barrier at the front and sides. Protected from a landscape of danger at the herd's very core, the young calves represent the lineage's continuation. Their daily life along the Nile follows a strict schedule. Grazing occupies the early morning, when the air remains cool. Around 33 to 40 pounds of grass are consumed by each adult buffalo daily, which helps manage the growth of vegetation along the river. The herd finds sanctuary near the water during the most intense heat, submerging to lower their body temperature and fend off pests. But danger is always present, even during these moments of rest. Nile crocodiles wait just beneath the surface, anticipating a chance to attack. A single calf is born to the female after a pregnancy of around 11 months. The newborn is standing within moments, safely enveloped within the protective circle of the herd. As the light fades, the herd resumes its endless trek. They are more than just foragers on the plains. They are sculptors of the very landscape itself. A piercing shriek breaks the silence along the Nile's tree-lined shores. It is the definitive cry of the African fish eagle. This regal bird, with its magnificent wings and sharp vision, is the master of these skies. Its brilliant white head and chest create a sharp visual with its dark wings and body. The wingspan of a mature bird can stretch to 8 feet. Its eyesight is phenomenal. It can identify the shimmer of a fish from more than 300 feet in the air. From its perch on a high branch, the eagle watches. Suddenly, it identifies an opportunity. The descent is immediate. A feathered projectile fixed on its prey. In a breathtaking instant, two realms, air and water, collide. Talons, as keen as a surgeon's scalpel, connect with unerring accuracy. The eagle then beats its powerful wings to rise back into the sky, its catch held securely. This prowess establishes the African fish eagle as one of the most effective hunters in its habitat. Fish make up nearly the entirety of its diet. Breeding pairs are faithful for life and use the same nest year after year, fortifying it with new sticks and foliage. These nests can eventually exceed 6 feet in diameter. Both parents share the duties of raising the chicks, offering them small portions of fish until they are capable of hunting on their own. It contributes to a vigorous and stable aquatic population by targeting fish that are sick or slow. The same drama unfolds as the sun goes down. The Nile, under this bird's watchful eye, endures as a vital artery where all living things are linked. A lean form materializes in the quiet waters of the Nile's back channels. Its long neck and head are all that can be seen, recalling the motion of a serpent. Meet the African darter, a specialist in diving and stealth. Reaching a length of up to 37 inches, its distinction comes from its agility rather than its strength. Its feathers possess a unique quality among aquatic birds. They are not entirely impervious to water. While this trait lets it plunge to greater depths, it also means it must dry its wings in the sunlight after every hunt. The darter becomes a swift and efficient predator when submerged. It stalks small fish, frogs, and crustaceans with silent grace. Once the target is close enough, its long, sharp beak shoots forward. The fish is impaled by a lightning-fast jab, then carried to the surface, flipped into the air, and swallowed whole. Its population in the Lake Tana region is considered very healthy, with estimates ranging from 800 to 1,000 birds. The abundant vegetation and shallow waters offer both a safe harbor and a plentiful supply of food. It helps preserve the equilibrium of the underwater environment by managing the numbers of small fish and invertebrates. As daylight fades, the vision of dozens of African darters perched on dry limbs with their wings spread wide is an almost otherworldly sight. A somber figure moves with slow, measured strides across the plains as the dry heat settles over the Nile's banks. It is the marabou stork, among the largest birds on the continent. With a height of nearly 5 feet and a wingspan that can exceed 10 feet, the marabou is defined by its striking appearance. Its head and neck are almost bare of feathers, showing wrinkled, pink-hued skin. A scavenger needs this attribute, as it helps the bird remain clean while it feeds. The large red sac that dangles from its throat has several purposes, from controlling its body temperature to being used in mating displays. The marabou stork fulfills a critical function as a member of nature's sanitation corps. By feeding on animal remains, it aids in keeping the environment sanitary and lowers the potential for disease. Its digestive tract is so powerful, it can break down bone and gristle, drawing nourishment from materials few other creatures can consume. The marabou, however, does not rely exclusively on carrion. It will also actively pursue fish, frogs, and even small mammals when it has the chance. During the dry season, hundreds of marabou storks convene in the Sud wetlands, one of the Nile's most expansive marshes, to build their nests. While its appearance may be considered grim, the marabou stork is an indispensable component of the Nile's ecological framework. Their immense forms are silhouetted against the vibrant evening sky, standing as quiet guardians over the continuous rhythm of life and death. A creature of reddish-brown emerges from the grassy shores and marshlands bordering the Nile. This is the waterbuck, one of Africa's most powerfully built antelopes. It is admired for its grace and a prominent white circle on its hindquarters, a feature that looks as if it were drawn by an artist. A herbivore, the waterbuck stands between 45 and 55 inches tall and weighs 400 to 660 pounds, its life tied to the proximity of water. Its dense, greasy fur serves a vital purpose, offering protection from parasites and acting as a waterproof coat. The males are equipped with long, slightly curving horns that can measure up to 40 inches. These are formidable tools used during disputes over females and land. Every day, an adult will eat about 15 pounds of fresh grass, which prevents overgrowth and keeps natural trails open for other animals. Existence along the Nile is rarely tranquil. When confronted by a predator like a lion or crocodile, the waterbuck uses its best defense, plunging into the water. It is a proficient swimmer, with powerful legs and wide hooves that enable it to evade enemies in rivers and marshes. After an 8-month gestation, a single calf is born and remains concealed in dense foliage for its initial days to stay safe from predators. The Nile persists in its majestic course, weaving together lives and habitats in a perpetual ballet of water, land, and sky. With every curve of this river, tales of resilience, adaptation, and survival are entwined, reminding us this is more than a river. It is the vital essence for millions. From the deep pools where crocodiles command, to the shores where hippos lounge and eagles patrol the skies, the Nile demonstrates a fine equilibrium between might and fragility. The Nile flows onward, unconcerned with the individual struggles playing out along its shores. This is a realm devoid of right or wrong, governed only by hunger and the will to survive. In this place, life and death are not opposing forces. They are collaborators in a timeless ballet, a rhythm that has forged this terrain for ages, and one that will persist long after our time has passed. And the question arises, who shall rule the plains? The African Savannah, a land of harsh contrasts. An endless sky and golden grasslands stretch to the horizon, dotted with low bushes that create spontaneous splashes of color. This is not merely a home, but an arena of constant encounters, where each moment can shift between paradise and peril. In this wilderness, lions, with their dense manes and majestic gait, appear like kings stepping from myth. Each deliberate step they take on the dry grass accentuates their commanding presence. Lions do not simply hunt, they command the land. Absolute power, combined with flexible strategy, makes them one of the most fearsome predators, the very embodiment of authority across the plains. At the other extreme, African wild dogs emerge as masterful artists. Agile, adaptable, and enduring. Their strength comes not from individual might, but from the power of unity. The entire pack operates as a single entity, each member a precisely engineered component of a living machine. But this hunt is different. The scent on the wind is not of prey, but of arrival. A tide of painted predators floods the open space, and at its center, a lone lioness stands her ground. Her courage is now the only fortress for the small, trembling life beside her. The smaller warriors use their numerical advantage to overwhelm their opponent. They target the cub, weaker and less able to resist. The confrontation ends when the pack realizes its initial advantage is lost. The lioness and her cub are safe. Encounters like this unfold almost daily across the African grasslands. Wild dogs and lions coexist, each asserting its place with every hunt, every howl that echoes across the vast expanse. This domain stretches for some 3 million square miles, from the Serengeti in Tanzania to the Kalahari in Namibia. Golden grasslands, acacia trees resembling inverted umbrellas, and meandering rivers are the lifeblood that sustains this place. Each year, the region receives 20 to 50 inches of rain, concentrated in a few short months of the wet season. It is then that the vegetation bursts into green and the streams fill with water. On this land, herbivores, like wildebeest, zebras, and buffalo dominate the vast plains. The wildebeest, a quarter of a ton of muscle and migratory instinct. Strength of the plains, but this strength means little when shadows begin to move and the hunters close in. The zebra, weighing around 700 pounds, moves like a phantom in its distinctive striped coat, and its kicks can make any attacker think twice. The Cape buffalo is a true giant, weighing over 2,000 pounds, a living fortress that few predators dare to approach. However, no creature here exists unchallenged. The apex predators, lions, hyenas, and African wild dogs are the true rulers of the food chain. Their coats, a mosaic of irregular colors, reflect the chaotic yet ordered beauty of nature. These small warriors have been honed over millions of years to become one of the most effective predators on the planet. Approximately 1.7 million years ago, the ancestors of the wild dog appeared. It was a time when Africa's climate was undergoing dramatic changes, giving way to vast new grasslands. The wild dog's body is designed for maximum efficiency in the hunt. Weighing between 40 and 80 pounds, they are one of the lightest carnivores in Africa. Their legs are long and slender, with only 4 toes on each foot instead of the 5 found on most canids. This structure seems purpose-built for traversing the savannah. Their coats, with patches of black, white, and yellow, are not only striking but also serve as perfect camouflage among the tall grasses, where the sun creates a dappled shade. With this unique appearance, wild dogs can vanish from sight, like shadows gliding across the earth. Today, this master predator is found in only a few areas, such as the Okavango Delta in Botswana, the Serengeti, and the Selous Game Reserve in Tanzania. The expansion of the savannah brought advantages, but also posed many challenges. On such an open landscape, where the line between life and death is but a moment, surviving alone is impossible. Therefore, the wild dog developed a deeply cohesive social structure. Each pack typically consists of 10 to 40 individuals, forming a community akin to an extended family. At the center of the pack is an alpha pair, usually the strongest male and female. The alpha pair not only leads, but are also the only members of the pack permitted to breed. When the alpha pair has a new litter, the other members share the responsibility of care. They take turns protecting the pups from predators or environmental threats. Every wild dog hunt begins with a period of careful observation. The pack scans for potential prey, such as impala, gazelles, or the young of wildebeest and zebras. The target is often chosen based on signs of weakness or vulnerability, such as a calf separated from the herd or a sick individual unable to run fast. The decision is not made by a single individual. African wild dogs exhibit a peculiar behavior before initiating a hunt. They perform an act known as a sneeze. This is not a mere reflex, but a unique form of communication signifying consensus, a rare expression of democracy in the animal kingdom. The fastest individuals run ahead to apply pressure on the prey, while others move to the flanks to cut off escape routes. A few members position themselves at the rear, ensuring the prey cannot turn back. This coordination is like a perfectly choreographed performance. This collective strategy raises their hunting success rate to 85%, a figure that surpasses most predators on the savannah. As soon as the prey is subdued, the entire pack immediately begins to feed. They eat not only to satisfy their own needs, but also to store nutrients to bring back to other members. Wild dogs have a characteristic behavior. They regurgitate a portion of their digested food to share with their packmates, demonstrating a strong social bond and community spirit. However, the savannah is never a completely safe place. Lions, with their superior size and strength, frequently steal food from wild dog packs. In urgent situations, the social structure of the wild dogs becomes more evident than ever. When an individual is injured or in danger, the entire pack immediately rallies to protect that member. In this world fraught with peril, the wild dog's greatest weapon is not its teeth or claws, but trust. For it has been observed that a pack bound by loyalty, a family that stands together, is far more likely to endure the hardships of the savannah than one that is divided and alone. By focusing on the weak, old, or sick individuals in the herds of impala, gazelle, or wildebeest, wild dogs act as an unseen hand of nature, helping to improve the health and strength of the prey populations. However, human expansion has encroached upon their natural habitat. Savannas are converted into agricultural land, and forests are cleared, limiting the space they need to roam and hunt. At the same time, diseases like rabies and canine distemper, often transmitted from domestic dogs, have severely impacted wild dog populations. Not only must they overcome threats from a harsh environment and disease, on the vast grasslands of the African savanna, lions emerge as uncrowned kings. Each of their steps seems to shake the ground, asserting dominance over a territory that has witnessed their presence for hundreds of thousands of years. The origin of the lion dates back approximately 2 million years, when their ancestors, along with other species of the genus Panthera, such as tigers, leopards, and jaguars, first appeared in Africa. It was a time when the global climate was becoming colder and drier, forcing animals to adapt rapidly to environmental changes. A fully grown male lion weighs from 330 to 550 pounds and measures from 5.5 to 8 feet in length, excluding the tail. The lioness, though smaller at 260 to 400 pounds, excels in agility and flexibility. Their tawny coat provides ideal camouflage and helps regulate body temperature under the harsh sun, where daytime temperatures can exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Their hunting tactics reflect this adaptation, as lions are most active in the early morning or at dusk, when temperatures are lower and prey is less vigilant. A lion pride typically has 5 to 15 members, and under favorable conditions, that number can reach up to 30. The pride's organization revolves around a group of related lionesses, their offspring, and 1 or 2 adult males. Lionesses are the primary hunting force, responsible for feeding the entire pride. Their hunts display remarkable coordination. While the females undertake the hunt, the males assume the role of protecting the territory and maintaining order within the pride. With their superior weight and prominent, dense manes, the males are symbols of power. The social structure of lions is not based solely on physical strength, but is also maintained by a spirit of solidarity and mutual care. The females take turns caring for the pride's cubs, regardless of whether they are their own. However, stability within the pride is not permanent. The dominant males constantly face threats from nomadic males or other prides. If an intruder gains control, the cubs of the previous male are often killed. This act, though seemingly cruel, is in fact a biological strategy to ensure that the strongest genes are passed on. A lion pride requires a large amount of meat to sustain its daily activities, with each adult consuming about 15 pounds of meat per day. Their eyes are designed to function well in low light conditions, able to see 6 times more clearly in the dark than human eyes. This gives them a distinct advantage in nocturnal hunts. A keen sense of smell allows lions to detect prey from a great distance, while their ears can pick up the faintest sounds. The lion's hunting strategy is based on surprise and power, very different from the speed-based approach of the cheetah or the tireless cooperation of the wild dog. The hunt typically begins by silently approaching the target, closing the distance to no more than 30 feet before launching the decisive attack. Despite this, their success rate is only 30 to 40%. The lion's power culminates in its jaws, not merely bone and muscle, but a vice capable of crushing the life from its victim. Its canines, ivory daggers honed by evolution, are not designed to wound, but to deliver the final, fatal blow. Life sculpted by time, with each species a masterpiece of its own. The difference in the physical structures of these two species is the result of millions of years of evolution. A perfect contrast between speed and power, between endurance and authority. The body of the African wild dog is a magnificent testament to nature's meticulous design. They possess a compact yet powerful skeletal frame. This body structure reduces overall weight and improves efficiency over long distances. Wild dogs also possess impressive stamina, capable of pursuing prey for over 3 miles. In stark contrast to the agility and endurance of the wild dog, the lion represents overwhelming power and absolute dominance. Endowed with a massive physique, the lion uses short bursts of speed for hunting rather than relying on prolonged stamina. Their powerful hind legs act like steel springs, generating immense force that allows them to launch towards their prey at top speeds of up to 35 miles per hour in short sprints. The lion's jaw is a weapon of great destructive power, with a bite that can reach 1,000 pounds per square inch. Their claws, about 1.5 inches long and retractable to maintain sharpness, are the primary tools for restraining prey. For the African wild dog, the concept of territory is fluid, like an ever-changing current, expanding or contracting according to the pack's survival needs. Each pack typically controls an area of 200 to 1,200 square miles, where they not only hunt, but also constantly move to avoid conflict with larger threats, especially lions. They use urine and feces to mark their operational area, a chemical signal to warn other packs to stay away. In contrast to the flexibility of the wild dog, for the lion, territory is a fixed fortress. A lion pride typically controls an area of 50 to 150 square miles, much smaller than the range of the wild dog. However, this area is defended with an unshakable resolve. The adult males of the pride are primarily responsible for defending the territorial boundaries. They patrol regularly, leaving scent marks with urine and claw marks on trees to declare ownership of the area. The competition between these two predators begins with their shared food source. Both wild dogs and lions depend on herbivores such as impala, wildebeest, and zebra. Lions employ ambush tactics, relying on explosive power and surprise to attack at close range. Meanwhile, wild dogs are the true marathon runners of the savannah. They leverage their speed, stamina, and the precise coordination of the pack to exhaust their prey before delivering the final blow. Although wild dogs have a hunting success rate more than double that of lions, it does not guarantee they can keep their prize. A single adult lion can drive away an entire pack of wild dogs with its mere presence. Studies in 2024 showed that 80% of confrontations between wild dogs and lions ended in the death of a wild dog. In the Serengeti, where the density of lions is overwhelming, wild dogs frequently become victims in these conflicts. A study in 2023 recorded a lion pride killing 6 wild dogs in just 15 minutes. However, wild dogs are not easily subdued. Although they lack the strength for a direct confrontation, they possess incredible adaptability. Faced with the threat of a lion, wild dogs often choose to retreat rather than fight. This behavior is not a sign of weakness, but a survival strategy. But in situations where escape is impossible, wild dogs sometimes employ an unusual tactic: playing dead. This behavior, though rare, has been documented in the Serengeti and other areas. When attacked by a lion, some wild dogs lie motionless, pretending to be dead. This not only distracts the enemy, but also serves as a last-ditch effort to avoid death, demonstrating the flexibility and creativity in their survival instincts. In nature, the cheetah is the absolute symbol of speed. They lack the overwhelming power of the lion, nor do they possess the characteristic cunning of the hyena. Cheetahs exist as elite sprinters. The evolutionary heritage of the cheetah spans 8 to 10 million years, older than that of the lion or the tiger. Weighing from 77 to 143 pounds, the cheetah possesses a physique ideal for achieving high speeds. Long legs, a flexible spine, and semi-retractable claws provide maximum grip on the ground. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds, a figure that makes escape nearly impossible for most prey. However, despite a hunting success rate of 50 to 60%, the cheetah rarely keeps its prize for long. In an environment where hyenas, lions, and wild dogs are always lurking, the cheetah must eat quickly. Conversely, wild dogs are a symbol of endurance and high organization. With their numbers, they can pursue prey until it is completely exhausted. Although cheetahs and wild dogs rarely confront each other directly, competition between them is unavoidable. Both target small and medium-sized prey like Thompson's gazelles and impalas. However, when wild dogs appear, the disparity in numbers often forces the cheetah to retreat, abandoning its meal. To avoid conflict, cheetahs often choose to hunt in the early morning or late afternoon, when wild dogs are less active. Meanwhile, leopards are secretive predators, moving in silence. They are the embodiment of patience and concealment, blending into the shadows to become invisible hunters. The leopard originated from an ancient ancestor that lived about 1.8 million years ago. Today, their range is only about 25 to 37% of what it once was, but their adaptability has helped them survive. Weighing from 66 to 176 pounds, leopards are not the largest of the big cats, but they possess incredible strength. Their coat is adorned with rosette-shaped spots, providing perfect camouflage in their environment. In the darkness of the savannah, leopards operate silently, but with extreme efficiency. They lead a solitary life. An individual's territory can range from 10 to 15 square miles, marked with urine and claw marks. The leopard's preferred prey are small herbivores, like warthogs or impalas. This choice, minimizes direct competition with larger predators and suits their solitary hunting style. When attacking, they approach their prey from behind or the side, closing the distance to no more than 50 feet before striking. Their top speed reaches about 36 miles per hour. Not the fastest, but their power and precision are formidable. After subduing their prey, leopards often drag the carcass up a tree. This is a tactic to prevent it from being stolen by other predators like hyenas. The clear difference in target selection and hunting tactics helps to reduce direct competition between leopards and wild dogs. However, the presence of wild dogs is always a potential threat to leopards, especially for mothers with cubs. In these situations, a mother leopard will often move her cubs to safer locations, usually high up in the branches of a tree. During times of food scarcity, wild dogs may steal a leopard's kill. Although a leopard is larger and stronger, its solitary life puts it at a disadvantage. Faced with a large pack of wild dogs, a leopard is often forced to abandon its fresh kill and climb a tree to escape. Besides their eternal enemy, the lion, African wild dogs are also one of the favorite targets of hyenas. This is not because wild dogs are easy prey, but because their efficient hunting strategy often yields a bountiful reward. Although hyenas are formidable predators, the tight organization of a wild dog pack often gives them an advantage in direct confrontations. A study in 2023 showed that in 60% of conflicts, wild dogs were victorious, especially when they had the numerical advantage. The difference in hunting tactics also helps to lessen competition. Wild dogs often hunt healthy individuals using their stamina. Meanwhile, hyenas tend to focus on injured, weak, or already dead prey, acting as the ecosystem's cleaners. Beneath the water, Nile crocodiles are the silent rulers. As one of the planet's most ancient creatures, crocodiles have existed for over 200 million years. The remaining bones, skin, or meat become a valuable food source for scavengers like vultures and jackals. Although excellent hunters, wild dogs do not consume their entire kill. Each individual needs about 2 to 3 pounds of meat per day. The rest is left behind. In the sky, vultures are the first to arrive. They can spot the signs of a meal from an altitude of over 3,000 feet. On the ground, jackals arrive quietly, waiting to take advantage of what remains. The relationship between wild dogs and scavengers, though competitive, is a vital part of the natural balance. When wild dog packs approach a water source, they enter the domain of the crocodile, and the situation immediately changes. A study in 2023 in the Serengeti revealed that about 5% of wild dog deaths in riverine areas were caused by crocodiles. After every hunt, the remains become a valuable food source for scavengers like vultures and jackals. Vultures are the first to appear. They can detect the signs of death from an altitude of over 3,000 feet. On the ground, jackals arrive quietly, waiting to take advantage of what is left. The savannah, once a world where lions and wild dogs coexisted as two fundamental pieces of nature's puzzle, has now become a battlefield between nature and humanity. But even in that darkness, they remain resilient. Every steady step of a lion, every sacrificial hunt of a wild dog, is a sacred reminder that life on the savannah is a precious gift. However, hope is not entirely lost. Restored ecological corridors in the Okavango Delta and the Serengeti have opened new pathways, connecting isolated areas. Technology also plays a fundamental role in conservation. GPS collars and camera traps monitor the movements of lion prides and wild dog packs, providing valuable data for timely interventions. Vaccination programs against rabies and canine distemper have protected thousands of wild dogs from the threat of outbreaks. Protecting these two iconic predators is not just about caring for them, but about maintaining the ecological balance of the African savanna. For millennia, these two great powers have shaped this land. Their conflict is the very rhythm of the savanna. But now, a silence threatens to fall over these plains, and one must wonder what becomes of a world that has lost its kings, its armies, and its wild, ancient heart.